So I want to give a little advice on this set of questions about the suitcase lady. When you're answering the questions, if you can be very specific for one, like mentioning her name, etc. in this one, is good. I'm going to answer question number 2 because it's also nice to give details from the content or from the news report. So as we look at the news report, we can take some of the stuff. So what problems affect, the question was what problem does the suitcase lady face, or problems? And a lot of the stuff is actually in here. I think about she carries her belongings in shopping bags and spends her days and nights scrounging for food. She has nowhere to go. So I'm going to quote from the article. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to try and make it work for me. So I'm going to copy this. Control C will copy, and I can come back over here and I'm going to Control V paste. But it's not exactly. Oops! It tried to do the numbering, so I'm going to get rid of that. So I have to clean it up a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to try and make this work for me. So I'm going to say something like, the suitcase lady is homeless. Semicolon, she. And now I'm going to, she. Now I'm going to use some quotes. Now, the word they carry, that's what it actually was, but I don't want they, so I'm going to say she. And to make this work, what we do sometimes is you'll see people use these square brackets. It's where they change what is here to make it fit their own sentence. So they're changing the quotations to make it fit their sentence. So it's a really good skill to have. So she, instead of carry there, I'm going to say carries her. Okay, so I'm not really changing the quotation, but I'm making it fit my sentence. And that's what these square brackets are all about. It took me a while to figure those ones out. So let's read it out. The suitcase lady is homeless. She carries her belongings in shopping bags and spend, because that was plural before, that's going to be spend. So I need to add that little S in there. So I'm still quoting, but I'm telling people the square brackets, I'm changing it to make it grammatically correct, to make it fit what I want to do. Spends, instead of their days, it's going to be her days. So square brackets, her days and nights scrounging for food. Okay, they, no, it shouldn't be they, it should be she. And if you want, you could even add in she, like other homeless. You can add extra stuff if you want. Women in Toronto, comma, and because that's the stuff I added. Instead of have, it should be has. Has, oops, too many brackets there, sorry, has no one and nowhere to go. So what I've done, I'm trying to, and there's the end quote. So I'm really taking the quote as it was, but then I'm making it work for me because I've added a few changes in there. I'm not saying every single one has to have quotations, but let's try and get some of the stuff from there so that we're not just saying our own opinion, we're actually saying we've read the article and we're taking stuff from the article. So that's what I think that's a pretty good answer for question number 2. All right, I just highlighted to make it stand out. You could change the font if you wanted to. That's not a bad idea. So instead of highlighting, I think what I'll do is I'll just change the font to a different color so it just stands out a little bit. There's the question, there's the answer. Okay, question, answer, question, answer. So that's how I would do it as I go through. Again, doing the explanations, trying to link back to the story as well. Now in the connections part, it says, where to go? Here's question 9. Go back to your notes on what it meant to be homeless, and in your notes in the first part it asks you to make some notes about who, what, where, when, why, and how, right? And it says, and please include those notes. Submit these notes with this response. So one, I want you to include your notes of the who, what, where, when, why, and how someone could be homeless, and then talk about how after the reading, if it makes any difference, or if your views changed, or do you want to expand on it, etc. Okay, but I do want from the content part, it did ask for who, what, oops, wrong one. It did ask for the who, what, where, when, why, and how. Move the window, let me bring it across here. Okay, jot down the notes and reflecting, and who is involved, what has happened, etc. All right. So when you're thinking about notes about what it means to be homeless, who's homeless, what does it mean to be homeless, when does that happen, that kind of stuff, or where, why, how, etc. Okay. Thanks.